Hi, welcome back, and I'm so grateful for you being here. Today, I wanted to talk with you about accessing your next aligned level. And why I wanted to talk about that is because I noticed that sometimes when we get caught up in our mind, we have a little bit difficulties in accessing our next level, in becoming and emerging into the version that we want to emerge into, that feels most and more aligned to us. And during a period of time when sometimes we have been creating this resistance, we've been creating this type of struggle, we feel like we don't really get it, we feel that we don't really get the answers. Many times what we have done is that we have pushing through and getting ourselves up and up and up and up and up in our minds. And that used to happen to me before a lot when I was quite much in my masculine energy. That was a little bit too over excessive. Because why I laugh right now is because thinking back of it, I really understand how I did certain parts of my internal growth with force. So sometimes we are in this type of energy where we feel that we are doing so much, we're doing so much internal growth, and we are really making sure that we're keeping our routines and we're taking care of our well-being, we're taking care of our happiness, and at the same time we're evolving, we're growing, we're getting higher awareness, we get even more in tune with our desires and all of that. But at the same time, we also start to feel a little bit tired. We start to feel a little bit overworked, so to say. And that's because we are using our energy, our masculine energy. We maybe have the habit of, or the tendency of, pushing through life with force and pushing through life with, okay, I'm just gonna do this, I'm just gonna keep this. If I keep up with this, I'm gonna get to this point. The matter of fact that it isn't really like that, and we need to learn how we can balance our feminine and our masculine energies. And the more that we're pushing through, the more that we keep to our schedule, the more that we do the journal practices we told ourselves to do, and the more that we are crossing something off the list, the more we actually get ourselves up into our minds, and we're getting this type of separation and feel, or we don't getting a separation, but we feel a separation and feel a disconnection from our heart and our heart's desires. And then we can walk around and wonder, like, why does it feel as if I'm not connected to self? Why does it feel like I'm not connected to my heart and my true desires? That might be, my friend, because we have been, walking around and letting our brain rule more and more and more. One more thing that I want to say on this is, like, instead of creating more ease, we create more, and create more momentum, we actually create more resistance instead, unfortunately. And that isn't something that I want for me, and I don't want that for you either. And as I said, like, I had a period of time where I kept on feeling that yes, I'm going up, I'm going up, I'm going up, I'm feeling better, I'm feeling happier, I doing my internal growth, I'm getting into the spiritual practices that I want to, I doing the meditation that I feel good, and then zoom, then I dip, and then I continue do and dip and and dip. And what I realized was that I wasn't actually really true with my heart. And even though I knew that this was something that was really soothing and really nurturing for me, and that I really wanted to do this more, I really wanted to invite a more spiritual self more into my life, in my everyday life, it was in the way I did it. So I did it in a way that I just kept on becoming further and further away from my heart's desires and the feeling of the connection with me. And that's why I also faced, like, quite so much, like, up and downs throughout the period, and I felt very inconsistent. And I wonder, like, why do I keep on being inconsistent in my manifestations, in my mood, in my energy levels, when I know so much more now, when I've been practicing so much in regards to my energies, when I have so much more awareness? How can I possibly continue to be this inconsistent in my energy, in my thoughts, in my moods, in my happiness? After a certain type of point, I just got into this state of, okay, maybe we'll always be this inconsistent. But no, no, no. We don't do that here. We can truly, and we can get into that consistency much more. That's what I'm trying to say. So during that time, I had this weird question to myself that truly helped me out of this state. And that was that I asked, does this feel natural to me? Many of us, including me, when we go out to nature, for instance, when we go to nature and we get into the more, everything is natural, so to say, in one way or another, but we get into nature that feels more natural for many of us. I at least feel that closer connection to self through nature, or through a little bit more silence, or away from all the traffic and so forth. So when I get into that state, I have an ease in opening up my heart, getting into closer to my connection with self, and also feeling my heart's desires. And sometimes in a busy life, in busy days, when we're working and so forth, we maybe can't always go to the forest. And some of us doesn't live close to the forest even, so maybe it is a little bit of a project to do so. And because of that, I got that thought of that, well, why can't I bring that natural aspects into my everyday life? Why can't I bring these natural aspects into my mind? And asking myself what feels natural to me. Because when I'm up throughout the days, and as I said, like I could be at work and then I wanted to practice different type of mindsets and different type of beliefs I wanted to try out, or I wanted to, try out different type how I could stay high vibe throughout the whole work day, because at that point I didn't have a work where I got so much energy from. Then I came home and went for a walk or went for a jog or something, which like released a lot of stress and get into that. Then I wanted to meditate, and then I went to get some food, and on the way to this food store I was thinking like, okay, what kind of nurturing food can I have now? And then I came back and then I did some journaling, and then I wanted to do some extra journaling. Oh, I wanted to continue, and then I wanted to do some tarot, and in the end of the day I was like, I've been doing something the whole day. I've been pushing through the whole day. Like, do you see anywhere where I actually have a productive rest there? And why I bring this up is because I know that I'm not alone. And I know also that maybe that is quite of a high, like, energy levels, or a kind of high speed, so to say, or like a very packed schedule. And not all of you maybe have that. But I do also know that we have it in different periods and we have it in different scales. And many of us can actually look from our perspective, our own perspective, and look through like, where can I bring in a more productive rest, where I can bring in more rest into my days. So as I said, this didn't help me. It just kept me in a state of feeling resistance, and I kept on creating this type of resistance within, because I didn't went in the different type of like journaling prompts or whatever. I went in with a very result driven state, and a state of doing, forcing. So I was still up in the mind. While as when I realized this and made a change, nowadays I enter my sessions with my heart. I enter my meditation with my heart. I enter the most with my heart, and if I don't at that time, or if I slip back, I can easily catch myself and focus on grounding myself before I continue the meditation, or before I continue whatever I continue the day, or yeah, what it might be. So when I ask myself, like, does this feels natural to me? I truly realize that no, it doesn't feel natural for me. It doesn't feel natural to my cycle to be at this type of push one thing into the next thing, one thing into the next thing. It didn't feel natural to me to not let things sink in and integrate it into my system. It didn't felt natural for me to have such a high, because I realized like throughout these things I started to ask myself like, why do I do this? Why is this happening? And I realized that I have had a lot of different type of beliefs and thoughts of critique and judgments towards myself that made me keep on going in this direction and this type of facing, or this type of like energy, so to say. And I realized that no, that is not natural to me. It doesn't feel natural for me. It doesn't feel like this is something that I should keep up with for the rest of my life. It doesn't feel natural. I implemented in all parts of my life. I continue with it. It was like if I was in a conversation with someone, I asked myself, like, does this feels natural to me? Does this conversation feel natural? Yes or no? If not, why doesn't it feel natural? And then I could sometimes realize that, yeah, because right now I'm having an internal voice judging myself at the same time. Or it could be like, yeah, right now I'm actually don't feel resonant. I don't feel great in this this person doesn't make me feel great. So no, it doesn't feel natural to me. So you see how that little thought that can seem a little bit weird or seem a little bit like cut off, like what? Is really helpful, because we're bringing the nature aspects, or we're bringing what we normally connect to in nature, and that everything feels so natural. That space, that energy we bring into our minds, and we bring into our reflections, so to say. Yeah, one more thing before I let you go is that I want you to know that if you want to look deeper into this with me, if you want to look deeper into understanding your internal growth, and also getting some help in aligning yourself to your next version, aligning yourself to the resonant version, the best version of yourself, I do coaching in this. So check out the description, information in the description. So and contact me, reach out to me, and we will take a conversation from there, how I can help you on your journey a little bit further. So I hope that this was helpful for you. Give it a like, subscribe to my channel also if you feel called to. Keep on listening to your Within Talks. Take care of yourself. Bye.